who's impressed you the most in terms of a player in Hardpoint?
Formal is probably the best, but after Atlanta, I think, I kind of expected that a little bit. He's kind of been on that top for a while. Scumpy has looked very, very well. I know he's picked up the ERAD quite a bit more. I think we've seen some pretty good improvements out of him, so he's up there as well. General, I know, has had a pretty nasty KD so far, so he's been helping out E6 quite a bit. Doing very well in that slaying category. He's been pretty impressive. I don't know, quite a few of those players. I know Apathy doesn't have the best stats necessarily, but he's kind of been turning up when his team needs him to kind of get them back in it. Enable, another one, been performing very, very well. I mean, we even saw it in, the little clips we just saw up there. But I don't know, Formal, Scump, in general, probably my top 3 so far in terms of impressiveness, at least.
Fair enough. Of course, we made a big point yesterday, just saying the importance of this event. It isn't necessarily just about the prize money. It's about that LAN League spot. There were so many teams on the bubble, so many teams who needed a fantastic event here to clinch that invitation into the Global LAN League. For now, let's learn a little bit more about the Global LAN League.
The LAN League is pretty much everything. That's going to be the season for everyone.
Every year there's always been one thing to play for, and that's champs, but now the LAN League is everything this year, to be honest.
We want to make sure we're at the top that we can possibly be.
Like on the stage, I'm really just excited. The only thing going through my mind really is the match that I'm about to play and the players I'm sitting across from.
So you just want to think about winning.
If we don't make the LAN League, it's like, dude, what are we doing? Let's go!
Heard it from Scump. You don't make the LAN League? Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Of course, the LAN League, there are already some teams that have secured that invitation. Who are those teams?
Optic, obviously, FaZe, E United, and last night confirmed Splice, so congrats to all these guys earning that invite. But, I mean, by the time, this event ends tonight, I mean, we'll know more and more. So by tomorrow, we'll know all 16. So awesome to see. It's going to be a very, very exciting end to Championship Sunday, of course. But as you said, even by the end of tonight, we may have a pretty good idea of who will be taking those spots. Memo, anyone specifically you're looking for, or one of those bubble teams that you think, okay, this could be your time?
I think the really interesting thing from my side, obviously, is the ones fighting for that final ones. Because we know the likes, for example, you've got FaZe and the United already in there. We know ones that are going to join them pretty much, like from Europe, Millennium, they're pretty much secure in their spot. But I'm looking at like iGame and Epsilon from Europe, who both fell. They both didn't make pool play. Some obviously very interesting games surrounding those as well. They kind of are going toe-to-toe, and I know the likes of iGame have to outplace Epsilon by like one more stage, I think it is. But the likes North America, of course, you've got the Gosu crew doing fantastic stuff. Panda are still in the mix somewhere or another. So, and then you've got, I mean, Mindfreak for me. They have to make, I think Mine have to do something incredible to upset that, which I don't think is going to happen. I think Mindfreak, they've almost got one foot in the door.
Yes, they definitely do. And in terms of some of the teams that have already been upset, it's worth mentioning and updating you at home. Allegiance, they're out of the tournament. They will not be in the Global LAN League, I believe. Evil Geniuses, they're actually going up against Parasite Squad.
I think they lost first map as well, so.
Wow. So it just shows you nothing can be taken for granted. However, moving swiftly on, the next game up on the main stage is going to be Team EnVyUs versus, I believe it's going to be Gosu. Apathy has been a phenomenal player, especially you look at last event Chance. We were kind of having that conversation like, hey, this guy could be our MVP. Has he impressed you so far at this event?
Yes and no. I think he's been a little bit less consistent than he was last tournament. It's one of those things that when he gets hot, he is in that top form. But when he's not on point, he's average player, you'd say. I mean, mainly they just look flat against Optic Gaming, which it's very difficult to look incredible against that team. So still a lot to be kind of had to find out. Again, they're going up against the Gosu crew. They're sitting at 2-0 right now. They kind of stormed through the pool. So this is an incredibly important matchup. So Apathy, well, he needs to be here.
The fight for second place, as you mentioned, Merca, this is a very, very important game. And as you mentioned, Chance, Apathy has to turn up in this game to give EnVyUs the best possible chance. For now, though, let's learn a little bit more about Apathy.
Look at Apathy, he's getting real into it now. The man is on a mission right now.
And Apathy wins a huge gunfight.
Oh my God! Can he get there? It's good! What a comeback from Envy!
Apathy is a player who has come up over the last year into the top ranks of competitive Call of Duty. He's always been on the cusp, playing with some winning teams like Strictly Business in the past, but after their loss at Season 2 relegation with Team Liquid, not able to get into Stage 2 of the CWL last year, he joins Team EnVyUs. From there, he goes on to win COD Champs, and they've been a dominant team ever since.
I think Apathy's biggest strength has been his overall gameplay. You look at his respawn KD from Atlanta, 1.20. You're sat there going, wow, that's impressive. That was really good considering the amount of games he played. Then you look at his S&D, a 1.45. It's fair to say if Envy had made it to the grand final, he would have been your MVP without a doubt.
We talked a little bit about Apathy's strengths with how good he is in the respawn game modes and search and destroy. The only issue with him is he can't do it consistently. We've seen times where he is at the top of everyone in terms of overall KD. We've also seen times where he's down towards the bottom, so really the only thing holding Apathy back is getting more consistent game to game.
I think for Apathy this year, everything has come together at the right time. Things are starting to click once again. I think last year you looked at John, he was the clear MVP. This year I think there's a little bit more pressure on Apathy's shoulders, and I'm excited to see how he handles it.
Apathy is a player you do not want to go up against. He's very dangerous. When he is going, your team has no answer for him in all game modes. The way you're going to have to beat Apathy is hope he has an off game and really take advantage of it.
Team EnVyUs versus Gosu crew up next on the main stage. There, of course, a look at Apathy. As we mentioned, really does need to have a standout performance here for EnVyUs to secure that second place in the pool. And I guess that begs the question, Mark, does Envy secure that second place, or do we see maybe an upset here?
I mean, the thing is, right, you look at the past games, I mean, they had to get a round 11 map 5 with Red Reserve. Gosu crew just beat Red Reserve 3-1 pretty handily. This Gosu crew team, they're fighting for that last LAN League spot. There's going to be a chip on their shoulder. They want to be a step ahead of Panda, and if they get top 2, the pressure's all on Panda. The Gosu crew just keeps having to play well. So yeah, I think Envy's going to have to come out of the gates starting hot. Looking at Apathy, I mean, there's sort of that discussion, right? Who's been the second best player in the game so far besides, obviously Formal's been #1 throughout the year, and Apathy is in the talks for that spot, absolutely.
I definitely agree with you. He has had a fantastic year so far, and he has to continue it here at Dallas, that's for sure. In terms of momentum, something that you kind of brought up there, Merc. Remember, back in your playing days, how crucial was that momentum? I mean, Gosu crew 2-0 right now. Will they maybe use that to play against Team EnVyUs and use that as a beneficial thing?
Gosu crew, all 4 of those players now will be on that stage, and they'll be saying to each other, we can do this, and it's not just like any other day, which of course you've got to have confidence. It's what they've accomplished in the last 36 hours. They've taken down teams that, they should have, but also teams they've pushed aside, and they're looking at the likes of Panda, they're looking at the other teams in contention for this spot. They are in the best position they can be. They're 2-0 in their pool. They're going up against an EnVyUs who lost 3-0 to Optic. They only beat Tainted Minds 3-1 Envy, and then obviously they went 3-2 Red Reserve. Like, Envy have dropped maps against every single team. They've not been that 3-0 dominant squad in pool play that they used to be. Gosu crew, they can push this.
Of course, we say this is basically for that second place. However, after Team EnVyUs, we'll see Gosu crew actually go up against Optic Gaming Chance. Is that maybe getting a little too carried away here?
Stop it, Ben. Stop it.
That's where any sort of momentum that they had gets completely stopped if Envy doesn't derail that hype train first. It's definitely going to be Envy's game to lose. They're definitely the favored team. Pretty much across the board, you imagine all 4 of those players are more talented. That being said, momentum is definitely a factor. And if Envy, they're dropping maps against other teams, if they slip up even a little bit, TGC is definitely a team that can take advantage.
Excited to get this matchup underway. Of course, we recommend all weekend for the CWL Dallas Open. You're watching on the MLG Enhanced Viewing Experience. Let's learn a little bit more about EVE. Of course, there, a look at the enhanced viewing experience. You get up-to-date event statistics, score streak prediction game, and of course, source quality. You get to earn some of those fantastic badges. Merc, stop. I know you want to say.
They don't even have one, Ben. I've seen your profile.
Hey, some of my predictions have been pretty good. They've been pretty good. Obviously, Gosu crew versus Team EnVyUs up next on the main stage. The winner of this will secure essentially second place in that group. It is essentially a must-win for Gosu crew, really, when you talk about how on the bubble they were, Merc, sorry. I mean, if they were to win this, and let's say they finish second in their group, would that almost secure that invite to the LAN League, or
No.
what else do they have to do?
I think they have to keep winning, and the tough thing is that Panda ended up, it's probably going to get like 3rd place in their pool. So they're going to be in a pretty good spot if they can win another game. So you want to see Gosu Crew try to get top 2. I mean, hey, think about this. If Gosu Crew ends up placing 3rd and Panda ends up playing 3rd, they might end up playing each other in that loser's bracket at some point. So that could be an awesome match to watch.
That could be fantastic, because that really would give one team obviously the boost through. That could be definitely one to keep your eye out for. Good thinking, Mark. Good thinking. As I said, though, next up on the main stage, Team EnVyUs versus Gosu Crew. For now, though, quick commercial break.
Apathy is just showing off right now on the main stage. John and Apathy absolutely shredding on Championship Sunday. Envy could win it right here, 3 seconds away. All 4 dead on Optic Gaming. It's John saying, get out of my lobby.
EnVyUs, these guys are your 2016 world champions. They started off slow in Vegas, but they showed what they're truly made of back in Atlanta. When you look at the lineup of JCap, Slasher, Apathy, and John, this is a team with brains as well as the gun skill.
EnVyUs succeeded as a team because they don't have a weak game mode. When you have Apathy clicking on all cylinders with John, they just are very aggressive in the opposing team's space. You have Slasher, a dominant assault rifle player, to just solidify the backlines, and you have JCap able to fill any role needed. That's why this team really has no weakness when they're clicking on all cylinders.
Where they struggle is in the losers bracket. We've seen them in the losers bracket multiple times so far throughout IW, and this entire time, they've only won 1 match.
And so far for me, EnVy's shining moment in Infinite Warfare has been their win against Optic at MLG Atlanta. What you saw there is really the true potential where this team can meet. You know, they did not have a great MLG Vegas. They bounce back, they show you what they're made of against Optic Gaming in Atlanta.
When I think about EnVy, I think of a top 4 team in North America. You know, a lot of people have them ranked lower, but I know the potential of this squad. The question for me is, will they be able to live up to that potential?
Will they be able to reach that potential? Right now, it is not looking good. There is a look at their captain, JCap, 2-time world champion. And so far, his respawn, Katie, pretty impressive. Search and destroy did not go well for them now. And they're in a game 3 where if you lose, you're playing through the losers bracket where you've had no success yet in this title.
Yeah, and a lot of success has been on JCap in his career. You saw there the winningest prize money player in the history of competitive Call of Duty. The guy's made some good money playing COD, but he's got more money to be made. This weekend, $200,000 on the line. We've got the Stage 1, Stage 2, a combined $1.4 million. You've got Atlanta, $200,000, Champs, $1.5 million. Why are we casting, Chris?
We're casting an open bracket team about to lock in a spot in our 8-team winners bracket in the championship bracket. Taking a look, it's Priest, Exotic, Mox, and Drama. Will they be able to 3-0 a team that I just called top 4 in North America in EnVyUs?
And you guys mentioned too in that video, when Envy are clicking on all cylinders, who can beat them? I can tell you something right now. They are not clicking on all cylinders. The Gosu Crew are, though. They've yet to lose Uplink in pool play. They're 1-0 in throwback Uplink, to be exact. They're looking to keep that record perfect, but off the break, they get wiped off the map.
We talked about Exotic being the key to victory for Gosu Crew when it comes to search and destroys. Maven came over right before this game and said, you gotta watch Mox. He's the best. God.
He's so good.
He's so good. No, there's a lot of love for this guy. He's been getting the job done in the respawn game modes. We saw him in the Hardpoint, but to open this one up, it's EnVyUs coming out hot. A 3-1 start for Apathy. Some great kills there, but they only got a 1-point toss-off. No dunks yet. Nothing to worry about if you're Gosu Crew.
Hey, you got some momentum for Envy. You kind of got your bearings straight for a second there. Slasher was on that long flank, but now it will be this drone move forward by Mox. That should be a 1. There it is. 1-1, Gosu crew tie it right back up.
That's one of the longer tosses you're going to see on throwback. So obviously Mox has been playing this game mode quite a bit, preparing for a moment just like this. Drone being picked up by Envy. Apathy's going to pick up your first 2 kills. It's just 2 defenders, Mox and Priest, going to have their hands full. Can they stop John from coming in on the dunk? Nope, they're going to give it up. 2 more points for Envy. 3-1 is your score.
And John, with every point on the board so far for EnVyUs, getting that objective work done, trusting in Apathy, in Slasher, to find the kills around him, be his lead blocker. And when Envy have that sort of trust, when they can develop that pressure on the map, that's again when they are one of the top 4 teams in North America. Finally, we're seeing a little bit from him so far in this series. Apathy keeping that shot hot at 8-2.
Apathy's really the only one up in the middle of the map right now. He's surrounded by 3 yellow arrows. He will not be able to slow down this Gosu crew push. Now they have Drone. They should be able to flood from Lemon after that big kill. Exotic with another 1-point toss off the wall and in. They've hit both of their shots. Gosu crew making this a 1-possession game.
I love it, man. And even here from Drama, doesn't charge right out of barn, tries to stay alive for a second, forces at least 1 player back from Envy. Not able to make too much happen because of it, but he basically knew if he kept charging towards that top bending area, he was a dead man walking. Either way, Exotic and crew, what can you do now as Apathy is moving right up the map with the drone? They will reset it over bowling, so a nice defensive hold from the Gosu crew.
And now you see those 4 yellow arrows setting up for the next drone. First kill going down though for JCap. EnVyUs able to stall them out. And JCap continues to find kills. Finds a second. Apathy is 10-5, but you need the other 3 to start heating up. Here comes another drone carry. Is it another 1-point toss? That one will tie up our game.
1-point throws can absolutely be a difference maker in these close games, and so far, every single player in this lobby has hit the throw that they wind up tossing. 3-3, 2 minutes left inside 1. Slaying quite even so far in this game. A narrow lead goes over to Envy, but with how Exotic and crew are commanding this map at the moment, you would never think that.
Envy can't score if they can't touch the drone. Exotic made sure no one was getting close, but those kills coming in, including the grenade from JCap, could lead to another dunk here. Big defensive stand. It was Priest, a long-range E-Rad, able to stop it. It's just a 1-point play instead of a dunk coming in through. And we will see the score now, 4-3 in favor of Envy. They tried to set up for a repeat, but those kills will stop it from happening.
It puts a smile on my face when I see these teams continue to hit these ones. It's the little things that make them some of the better teams in Call of Duty in this game mode, and right now they're 5 for 5 between the 2 of them in this game. Drama looking for where these Envy players are, because there was kind of a lull in action for a brief moment. It does look like they'll pass this drone forward. He can't find it on the map. Doesn't get the throw. No, he misses too wide right. As I mentioned, how these teams haven't botched the throw yet. Finally, it does happen.
That looked like Eli Manning right there. John, on your screen, is going to reset the drone to reset to the middle of the map. That's right. We're in Texas, baby. Shout out to the Cowboys. Here we go. Slasher, though. NV4 in hand. What is this man going to be able to do? There are 3 players around him, 2 behind, 1 in front, and he will be found. Drone is going to be stopped for a moment. John with the 2-piece there, but it's just JCap alive.
They're going to go ahead, throw this drone forward. Exotic and crew trying to keep this pressure up the map, and Gosu crew, they recognize they don't have enough pressure right now to do anything. Remember, the patch came in that moved the portal back, so you can no longer throw that drone over the top Grandma area. You need to move through that middle lane. And John knows that. He knows that they need to keep their focus on watching this pressure towards this side. Mox swings the tide, though. There's the 2-piece. Will he get the 1 off of it?
Apathy continues to impress. +6. John, 12 and 13. We need more from Slasher in the second half. Otherwise, Envy is going to the losers bracket, Jack, and we will see Gosu crew powering through into our bracket.
At the half, it's 4-4, Chris, but you think Drama hits that 1, obviously they're in the lead, so that's what you have to keep in mind as this game goes on. JCap, he's been regarded as one of the best Uplink masterminds since the game mode came back out all the way in Advanced Warfare, obviously Call of Duty champion in that year. The next year they have Uplink. Oh, Envy win the Call of Duty championship again. JCap just knows what to do in this game mode, and he needs his teammates to pick it up alongside him right now.
Priest is going to get the first kill. Drama, they're trading out with JCap, and it's Exotic down low. 2 on 2. John, actually the last man up here for Envy, and here comes that drone. It's in the hands of Priest. 1 defender. It's John. Can John stop it? He does. Gets the E-Rad kills as the throw is low. Still tied after our first 30 seconds in the second half.
That's 2 now, Chris. 2 missed throws for Gosu Crew. As I mentioned, it adds up in these games. What should be 6-4 Gosu Crew is still a tied game. John and Envy know they're getting quite lucky, as right now they're just missing out in some slang on the map. You've got JCap -6, John -1, Slasher -2. Apathy's the only one holding his own.
Apathy on your screen was the only one up after losing all 3 of his teammates in the field. And that is a big win. Exotic down, 3 more yellow players, but now they have to worry about Apathy on their flank while trying to take on JCap in front of them.
Look at how annoying Apathy is being right now by just staying alive inside blue. He just stops Gosu Crew from being able to push up on the map and try to go for 1 from that backside. But as I mentioned that, 3 go down from Envy, make it 4. Drama's pushed up, forcing the spawns at blue. They need a dunk right here. Unfortunately, with Drama dying right away, I don't think it's gonna happen. The 1 intercepted by Apathy. Now 3 1-point throws, 2 missed, and 1 interception that keep this game close.
Richard Sherman would be proud. Exotic will fall. It's all Envy up on your map. They're all pushing forward. They have a spawn stagger as well for their opponents. So 1 by 1, they can pick up these kills and inch this drone closer. JCap getting the cover fire, has the distraction, gonna throw it up. That one's gonna land. Envy takes the lead.
Envy, how on earth are they winning this game right now? Up 5-4, 3 minutes left. Remember, this is a best-of-5 series, and Envy are already down 2-0. Another thing, Gosu Crew have yet to lose Uplink in pool play, so they're in an awkward situation for themselves. The first time they found themselves in a spot like this.
John with the E-Rad has 3 players up close, will not be able to find him, will get dropped. Drama also picks Slasher. Apathy gonna fight 3. There's 1, Slam comes down, will not find the second. Priest answers back. So Gosu Crew starting to surge forward. This one gonna stall out in the middle of the map though, and Jack, I have a feeling payloads could be the difference maker in our final 2 minutes.
Oh, absolutely, and you see right now, 1 for each team, Mox and JCap. With the payload abilities for their respective squads, still just kills being traded back and forth. Overdrive, the payload ability ready for the side of Gosu Crew. We know how good that's been in Uplink for as long as it's been around.
And JCap has one as well.
Yep.
So look out for Mox. He's going to be your speedster for Gosu. EnVyUs, they're counting on the captain to run it in for a dunk. Gosu Crew is going to get middle control. They're going for the drone, but right behind him is Slasher. And Slasher is going to lose another key fight. I watched on the minimap as Exotic turned and burned him. 3 straight kills, though, on the defensive end for Envy. Will keep this a 1-point game in their favor.
Most importantly there, Chris, Mox burns the overdrive. So no more overdrive available for Gosu Crew. He believed in his teammates to get those first kills, to open up a lane for him. It just doesn't happen. And now Gosu Crew might be punished for it in these final 90 seconds.
90 seconds, Envy trying to choke the life out of Gosu Crew here in game number 3. They are trailing 0-2 in the best-of-5. They need to win this and, of course, our next hard point in the tie-breaking search and destroy. Apathy leading the charge. Slasher right behind with the drone. Lead blocker is down. Slasher with the toss. It's intercepted, and you get smacked in the face by it. Mox going huge.
And now they're making a phase-like play from back in Vegas against Optic Gaming. Change it up. Bring it towards field. There's the first kill for the side of Gosu Crew. 2 dead now on Envy. They've got this drone. What do? They throw it forward for yards. But no! Mox throws it over the edge of the map, and it automatically resets.
Tried to cut the corner. That's not a route you take very often at the professional level. Just too difficult to force it from the left side. And that is gonna cost him big. 30 seconds though, 3 fights, 2 of them going in favor here of this TGC crew. Gosu Crew trying to push up the drone, but they have to look out. Apathy in the middle of the map causing so many problems.
They have enough time to do this. They're gonna play around the camo. They need this first kill. Exotic can make this happen. He pops it, I think, a little bit too early. Will he get the throw in time? 10 seconds remaining. The stuns come in. He hasn't been able to throw it. The 1-point throw! Intercepted! Intercepted by EnVyUs, and they'll stay alive in the best-of-5.
Wow. Envy not going down like that, and it's nothing but smiles for Apathy. Another grab, and Slasher sends it out of the map.
A perfect kill cam right there. I think we just saw some panic from Gosu crew. The second Exotic saw that first player shoulder peek from those bottom barrels, he used the camo. And it was so early that he wasn't able to get himself close enough for that ideal 1-point throw up.
I think more importantly, it's these grenades that slow him down.
Look
he
right
spots
there.
John. I understand that you can't be killed because if you have no camo, there's no way you score. But these grenades are what stopped him. He would have been short anyway, but Slasher made sure of it. Throws that drone out of the map. Envy is forcing another hard point.
And that's the first loss in Uplink for the Gosu crew in pool play. This team that many people are regarding as these Black Ops 3 breakout players, now in Infinite Warfare, their first real opportunity on the main stage. What's their mental game like? This is now we know they have the skill, but mentally, are they going to keep themselves in this? They cannot tilt right now.
I'm looking at Attach behind our monitor. He's just holding his head saying, oh my God. Oh my God,
like
Jack.
He always does.
We got a game 4.
Yeah.
It's coming up. Are we going to see Gosu crew lock in a spot in the bracket, or will it be Envy shattering their dreams?
I mean, you are that close to making it happen, and now it hasn't. Here's a brief replay from the start. Remember, folks, this is a Gosu crew squad that missed 2 1-point throws in that game, and they had 2 throws intercepted. 4 points wiped off the scoreboard there, and they only lose that game by 1.
And honestly, I feel like your first miss, there was a lot of pressure. I understand it. The second one from Mox, you gotta nail it.
I think it was Priesta.
Priesta, excuse me. And you know that's just the difference maker here in this game 3. But you have to look at the numbers in this one. The numbers are still in favor of Gosu crew, Jack. They are outslaying Envy throughout this series. Take a peek at some of the plays here. Apathy showing up strong with 32 kills, tops all players in the lobby. On the other side, though, Mox, another 1.4, 28 kills. He got it going early on, and he is living up to the hype we've built around his respawn game.
Oh, and he hasn't stopped yet, but I do want to take a moment to touch on Apathy. This guy continues to prove he is one of the best in the game. We had this conversation before the show started today at the studio. There was about 6 or 7 of us there. I think we were all in agreement. Apathy is absolutely a top 5 player in Infinite Warfare. There's no secret there. This guy is so good across every single game mode. You look at the numbers he's put up so far, you just see some inconsistencies from the rest of his team at times, the communication that's there. Apathy, though, by himself, an absolute superstar.
Jack, can I give you a challenge here?
Okay.
Name the other 4 people you would put with Apathy in your top 5.
Well, number 1, I think, by far for everybody, would be the likes of Formal. I mean, that's more than safe to say. I mean, you could make a case for something we're seeing so far from maybe Enable. He's right there. Obviously, most top 5s have like 3 players from Optic in it alone, so really fit in any piece. You can make an argument for Karma, for Crim, for Scump. Formal, absolutely there. I think it's safe to say he's definitely the best player. But some of these guys on Gosu crew, they're not in that conversation yet. Maybe the respawns we're seeing from Mox is great, but his S&D lags a little bit behind. Exotic, while he's been great in Search and Destroy, not really a factor in that uplink right there. You gotta do it across every single game mode to be in the top 5. And we're moving into Hardpoint game 4, a breath of life from Envy. But now they've got to carry that momentum in Retaliation Hardpoint.
Priest doesn't even look old enough to be playing in this venue right now. He has a chance of playing in the winner's bracket against the greatest teams in Call of Duty today. Will they be able to make it happen? They're 1 game away from going 3-0 here in Pool A. Can they get it done? It's Retaliation Hardpoint coming up next. They won the first one by basically 90 points, dominating Envy in the slaying battles on Scorch. Retaliation, though, totally different from Scorch. Different gunfights, a lot more AR. And I'm looking, we talked about him earlier, is Slasher gonna be that guy?
Is he gonna be the guy? Well, he starts off with a kill, but immediately mocks the counterpart in the respawns. Shuts him right down there. Gosu crew will get in the hard point quite early on, and they're already up 10-0.
I know what I'm getting out of Apathy. JCap's been pretty consistent in his respawns. Keep your eyes on John and Slasher if you are an Envy fan. On the other side, this is the man you need to stop. Mox has topped the leaderboard in both of the respawns for Gosu crew, looking to do it a 3rd time.
He's just going to keep holding this angle. It's smart. You know, let players try to fly at him and cut him down from here. He's got teammates watching over. If he just buys his team time, look, he's got 2 other guys in the hill with an AR, the duo of Exotic and Priesta. Those players can't get close. Look at your scoreboard at the top right now, 42-0. EnVy get wiped off this first
and this is the hard point that you're supposed to be able to contest real easily, right? Check, you're not supposed to jump out to a 50-point advantage after one hill. Already, it's drama down low in the lower street. Where is EnVyUs on the map? They're not even allowed to look at the hill.
Chris, I just kind of chuckled to myself for a second. There's typically only one player in the game that can make the crowd kind of whoa just from their ability to snap in a gunfight, and that was Formal. We just heard the exact same thing for Mox in that 1v1 he won. He's making himself some fans here in the crowd in Dallas.
These guys deserve some fans the way they've been playing today. Yeah. JCap, currently at 4-4, picked up 2 straight kills on a flank, allowing Apathy to get inside the hard point. Finally, EnVy on your scoreboard. But these next 2 hills, the most important on the map, we've talked about it over and over again, the cemetery or cathedral hard point, and of course the broken building. You look at the spawns, those blue arrows are nowhere near. Perfect setup from Gosu Crew.
And Gosu Crew are currently outslaying by 11 kills in this one. They outslayed in that first hard point. They're just winning their one-on-one engagements. Realistically, you think Exotic wins out if he's got full health for that 1v1 versus Slasher. Still around that 1 minute lead for the Gosu Crew. Their MVP so far, Mox, does die, and that should be the green light for the boys in blue to go ahead and surge right up the map. There it is, a solid break from EnVyUs.
And that all started with Slasher's first kill. He got in that troublesome position, made players look his direction. Then you saw Mox lose a 1v1. EnVy is able to break through. Apathy now trying to push out, trying to get these cut kills, finding players in transition. Meanwhile, John sitting right next to JCap inside the hard point. John is going to pick up 2 with the K-bar, and EnVy is right back in this game.
They're going to go ahead and try to fight for these final 15 seconds. John's still alive, but it takes 4 players of Gosu Crew to take him down in that hard point. One thing I want to talk about is actually Slasher as a player. We know how good he is. Yes, he's fantastic, but it seems like so far this weekend, when he faces an AR of similar caliber, he struggles a little bit. When he faced Formal in that match last night, he started off the game 5-18. Here, 4-8. Obviously, Mox having no struggles at 8-5. Slasher's got to focus back up, hit these shots from range, beat the best to be the best.
Yeah, for me, especially watching the Optic series last night, it seemed that Slasher just can't keep up with the speed that we've seen a lot of teams applying in the Respawn game mode so far. That last fight, pretty good example of where he's struggling in the long-range game. But that's the old, like, if you remember back to the beginning, the old Slasher never missed those shots. No. I expect him to come back and find his true form. Look at your scoreboard. We're back to a 16-point game. We talked about how EnVy on that last hard point had some huge plays. These last round of kills that we just saw from Gosu Crew, that's going to allow them to reestablish a healthy lead going into the new reset.
And an interesting thing to talk about again on the topic of Slasher and to keep in mind with esports in general is this isn't like pro sports where these guys are all 25, 30 plus. These guys are still in school. I talked to Slasher earlier. He's like, yeah, Jack, I want to play games, but actually next week I have all my finals I have to worry about for classes. He's got distractions going on outside the game. There's a lot of pressure for these guys that they have to balance in life. And it's actually interesting to see how that Call of Duty is so important, but they've also got to keep school in line and other jobs as well.
Engineering, not an easy major, and Slasher is crushing it over in California. Here's a look, though, at Mox inside the hallway. He's got 2 players inside the hill, deals with Slasher, but John is there to trade out. At the end of the day, though, it's Gosu Crew able to fight their way in. They know there's going to be a challenge from the deck. Priesta pre-firing the doorway, hit with a few grenades, but he's still scoring. EnVy cannot stop them.
He's just dancing around this front doorway side. Finally, JCap has enough of it, just charges on through, and he'll get the break alongside the help of that AR and Slasher. At the end of the first rotation, the lead, 45 seconds, but if you think about it, those 45 seconds strictly came from this top bridge hardpoint. Again, Gosu Crew have the exact setup they want. EnVyUs have yet to get a second on this hill in this game. 1 second.
If we can, please stay on board with Exotic. We talked about Slasher struggling at range. The last 3 fights I've seen from this guy have been ridiculous. There is another example, just snapping, Jack. He is just finding faces.
Alert to everybody wanting to learn retaliation hardpoint. Watch this game from Gosu Crew. Watch how they play this top bridge side. They win their gunfights. They know when to peek at the right time. Finally, a pinch does come in. Have EnVy gotten a second yet? No. Still 0 seconds for EnVy on this hardpoint.
Drama +7, Exotic +9. Mox, the guy we expect to kind of blow out the numbers, he's only +1.
There we go.
But no one from EnVy really able to hang at this point when it comes to one-on-one gunfights. EnVy is getting outclassed by our open bracket squad, who is playing for their lives in their spot in the Global Pro League, Jack.
Oh, they know the pressure's on, and they're stepping up to the plate right now. 190 to 113. Exotic 21 and 11. He's got camo to use as well. Still the kills going in favor of Mox and crew. They're continually winning these one-on-one gunfights. They've been leading in the slaying from the first hill of this game to this moment.
If you're Gosu crew, though, you can't lay off the gas. Last time you set up for the Cathedral, you were broken by EnVy. They haven't challenged yet on the lower street. This is 20 straight points now for EnVy. 30 points remain here. The gunfights are 2-on-1 down low on your minimap while we watch the action from Apathy in the hallway. Big fights were won. And EnVy, once again, is going to bring this close. And if they lock down Cathedral, they could even take the lead.
The one critique I do have for Gosu crew is actually for Drama. There are some times where he makes some questionable plays that gives up some good positions for his team on the map. There, he was in top bedroom by himself. He should have fallen back to Cathedral. There was no way they were breaking. Instead, he flew on out, spawned across the map, and didn't hold the spawns for his team. So now Gosu crew, they're trying to fight back in. EnVy now in control because of it. 50 seconds on this hard point. Look at the lead in the game. 50 seconds for Gosu crew. EnVy can come back in this game right now.
Will they get it done? Apathy and John just locked it down inside the cemetery. Apathy not challenging, where we saw the mistake from Drama a little bit earlier. Instead, they're baiting and switching, and a little bit of panic seems to be setting in for Gosu crew. They're running in one at a time.
Oh.
Fortunately, that time around, Jack, they were each able to pick up a kill.
That was good. That was good. They baited out Priesta. They let him high fly out. 2 players from EnVy look at him. Because of that, easy kills come in for the Gosu crew. They get that break. Again, they stop the bleeding, and look, that lead now back right up to 50 seconds, as we touched on earlier. Here's that player that at times I said makes some questionable decisions. There, don't know if he needs to give away his position. Instead, trying to stay alive. One player does spawn out on the map. That's Slasher. Drama wins another gunfight there. And did he buy enough time for Exotic and crew? It does appear so.
Yeah, you win this fight right now, and you are okay. You lose this fight, you are in trouble. There are 3 blue arrows. And look at the yellow ones. They're still on the bridge. EnVy here still has 37 points to score. Apathy's pushing out, finding players in transition, slamming to the ground, won't be able to find Drama in time. Slasher holding strong, though. 2 big kills, a third needs to be found.
Doesn't get it. A beautiful use of FTL jump earlier. That one came in from Exotic to keep them on the break. The nade from Apathy, not sure if it's going to do too much, though. One key thing to point out, Gosu crew cannot win off this hill, so we will at least see that hotel hallway hard point. 234 to 196 the score. Can EnVy make the miraculous comeback?
EnVy, they're set up here in the middle, but no, it's gonna be Gosu crew winning the fights at the deck. Apathy in the kill feed. Will they be able to stop the scoring, though? 7 points away is Gosu crew from taking out Team EnVyUs.
Hey, EnVy are still here. Slasher with the 3-piece. Now they just got to hold their ground. Mox now dead. Everyone's spawning on out. 38 seconds still for this hard point, but remember, next is Bridge, and EnVy have had no luck on that hill. They need to hold this absolutely perfectly and then rotate well. They haven't done it yet this game, but they're clawing back into things. Crowd, take a look at this. 244 to 220. We've got a game on our hands.
Winner's bracket position on the line. Who is coming out on top of this one?
They're giving it up.
Points remain. Gosu crew has been perfect on the bridge. They're setting up. JCap needs these crucial kills. 5 more points will be scored by EnVy. Everyone knows they have to get outside. JCap on the flank. Gets one with the help of John. John is going to fall, though. They're scoring. Slasher has to pop the camo. Surrounded by players, but staying alive. Gosu crew's getting in. Drama uses his payload, and this is it, Jack.
Pay attention, folks. The Gosu crew are the real deal as they send a shockwave across Dallas. with the 3-1 victory over Team EnVyUs.
I can't believe what happened. Coming into this tournament, Jack, I said, look out for Pool A. I think it will be the toughest of all groups, considering that your highest seed from the open bracket will go in. They just took down Team EnVyUs, and now, doesn't matter what happens against Optic Gaming, they've got their third win. They're going through. Now they're fighting for the #1 spot in this pool.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now, folks. What a performance from the Gosu crew on the bridge hardpoint. For the rest of those hills, Envy actually outscored them. When we take a look at the scoreboard, which I'm sure we'll have again, shout out to the production crew for always having that ready.
Yeah.
Watch how one-sided that bridge hill will be. It's gonna be something like 75 to 12 seconds.
The first hill was 50 straight points.
Yeah.
Uncontested. Envy, they fell way too far behind too early in that game 4, and honestly, too early in the series. They weren't there in game 1. They obviously were not as warmed up as the Gosu crew. Search and destroy was back and forth, but at the end of the day, you take a look at this final game. It was looking all right at the start. John gets a kill, JCap shots in the back. You have a camo slasher playing his life so well here, but then the flood from the top. Big kills coming in. Drama with the 2-piece taking out Slasher and Apathy
94.
will send Envy to the losers bracket.
94 to 15. Envy beat them on street, on grave, on broken, and on hallway. But when you get decimated on one hill like that, it doesn't matter what happens in the rest of the map.
John did wake up. He put up some decent numbers, but you have to say, everyone from Gosu crew had big plays, especially the man Exotic. He was lights out in Search and Destroy. Huge numbers in this game 4, and right now he is live on our main stage.
Thank you, gentlemen. Exotic, my man, those days from carrying Jacket Iron Wagers are long gone. Give him some noise. Gosu crew gets it done. The boys in blue go down. The Black Ops 3 champions go down. You're 3-0 in the pool, buddy. First and foremost, how do you feel?
Honestly, I feel great right now. Honestly, I love my team. I can't ask for a better team right now. Like, we're very confident. After we beat Tainted Minds, after we beat Red, we knew we could beat Envy, make winners chance bracket, and that's really what we want right now, because the league is our #1 option, so that's what we're going for. I feel great.
Well, so I'm curious about the pressure on you guys has to be more than ever, right? With the league around the corner, I want to know what it was like for you just mentally to deal with the toughness for that, going through the open bracket, knowing stage 1 is looming. How have you guys dealt with all the pressure?
Honestly, there wasn't a lot of people behind us, obviously, I love you guys, but we felt, just like I said, very confident going in. I was like, all right, well, best of 3, never, it could be fluky, but we made it through. We just had one job in our mind right now, and that was just to focus on the game and just focus on what we do. And, obviously that's showing off right now, so.
Yeah, it certainly is. That was an incredible, incredible performance there. What separates this team? What is so special? Obviously, we've watched you guys improve over the course of the year. Mox has been a beast. I think it was like a 1.8 something KD coming into this, but you really, really turned up in this series, specifically in Search and Destroy. What is special about you guys? What separates you from the pack?
Honestly, a lot of people don't know how we play, so that's why I feel like we're very good. And every single one of my teammates, Priest, Drama, the Mox, they all can go off at any point. Obviously, you saw it throughout the series. It's perfect. I love these guys. I can't ask for better players.
It sounds like there's some love on this team, man. I'm loving it. Becoming a fan day by day of this Gosu crew squad. But hey, around the corner, you got through the boys in blue. But next up, if you want to take this group, it is going to be the green wall. Optic Gaming is looming. Any words for those guys? How you feeling?
Nothing much, just good luck, and try to get 3-0.
I like it, buddy. Well, on the desk, we've got Ben in the squad ready to break it down.
Thank you very much, Maven. Gosu crew. Okay, I see you out here making some noise. The fans as well, really getting behind this squad. I mean, going into that match, team, did you have any kind of anticipation that they could even beat Team EnVyUs there? That was incredible.
I had an inkling. I didn't think it'd end up like that, though. What a crazy series overall. Those maps 3 and 4 were very high-level Call of Duty, very fun to watch overall. And who doesn't like a good underdog story, right? So true. Those first 2 maps, TGC just basically dominated them. The scoreline got a bit close at times, especially in that Search and Destroy, but it was always in their hands. It seems like the trading game, just like the simple stuff, it just was going in TGC's favor. It was crazy.
Pretty much. I mean, you start at the beginning of that series. You look at the Hardpoint. Chance, I know you were watching that one pretty intently as well as we all were. It's very hard not to when the crowd was that loud. What kind of stood out to you in map number 1?
ARs, honestly, the presence the Gosu crew had. You know, Exotic was putting up some serious numbers, but straight across the board, just phenomenal performances. They were outgunning their opponent pretty consistently, I would say. Even Mox, he had plenty of moments when you go off. There was the one play he had in the uplink, picks up 2 kills, intercepts the drone, and then beats the player down. Like, he's doing and accomplishing so many things simultaneously. Really just fantastically skilled players.
I completely agree with you. I mean, you talk about that uplink. I'm sure there was that one moment everyone is going to remember. We have an instant replay, of course, of that ending of the uplink. It was crazy. I mean, you could maybe argue, did he use his camo a little too soon?
It was all that camo right there. As soon as he saw that player peek out, yes, Apathy picked up those 2 kills, but you have to just take the chance. You look at the clock, and he just throws that drone way too soon. The interception did come in, but I don't think the drone was going to land it anyway. It just seemed like a bit of nervousness set in at that last second there.
I've got to say one thing, right? You're on there, you know there's around 10 seconds left. Your jammer grenade comes in, that clock goes away. You don't have a clue. You're using camo, the pressure's on, you've got call-outs going on in your ear. That timer, you're like, have I got 3 seconds? Have I got half a second? He just wanted to get a throw off. He didn't want to go in thinking, I just needed to get it. Yes, it was probably a little too short, but the fact, I don't think he used that camo too early. I think it was a perfect play. It was unfortunate. EnVy kind of held that tight line. Well, my God, that is why I love Uplink. That is what makes a great Uplink game.
Completely disagree. Trust your teammates to get that first kill. If they get pieced, you have to make your play in that situation. But regardless, it shouldn't have come down to that. There's 3 separate situations where they should have gotten 1-point plays. They weren't able to do it, and that's why they ended up losing.
Of course, 3 members of the Gosu crew on that Uplink leaderboard right there. That just shows you how good they have been at that game type. They look absolutely phenomenal. Of course, now, on the flip side of what we've just seen, of course, congratulations to Gosu crew. You basically secured winners bracket. EnVyUs are going to be starting in the losers bracket now. I mean, Chance, I don't think anyone would have expected that, right?
No, I mean, the only plausible situation that would happen is if the open bracket team comes into play. And kind of think about the situation that kind of had to happen to occur. So Epsilon, the #1 seed, they end up falling. They have that 5-1 lead in Search and Destroy. They drop that. So then everyone gets shifted up a spot from that open bracket. So that puts TGC in this group. And again, talk about how important that is for TGC. Those are the guys that are on the bubble trying to make this league, and they need a phenomenal performance to do it to, and they pulled it off. They had to go against EnVy, one of the better teams in the game, and they're making it work so far.
Of course, definitely not over for Team EnVyUs. Still plenty of games for them to play, but I mean, taking a loss like that, TP, that has to be demoralizing.
Definitely. They've just been coming out flat in a lot of these series. They did not look good at all versus Optic. Yes, it is Optic, but that's not the EnVyUs we're used to seeing. It seems like Apathy really seems like the only player. Cap has been playing well, so I'll give him his credit as well, but it seems like Apathy is the only sort of player that is playing at that elite level we're expecting from them, and it's a huge problem. You know, it's not like the rest of the players are playing, you know, necessarily bad. It's just not up to that top 3 potential you expect from the world champs.
Of course, you look at the bigger picture now for the Gosu crew. Gosu crew, Panda, they're the 2 teams that you really have to be looking at. And I mean, there could potentially be that case where they could play against each other. And this is now a battle of who will outplace. That's what this comes down to for what could potentially be that final global LAN League spot. So Dallas just got even more interesting. It has been a wonderful day 2 and cannot wait for even more action. For now, though, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we return, I'm so excited for the next match. It is honestly going to be fantastic. Gosu crew versus Optic Gaming.
North America, Europe, as well as APAC. Nobody can stop this man. 30 seconds left and Gunless gets through. He gets 3 kills. Can he win it? Oh, it barely.
Are you going to live through this one?
I am.